Media TV in London.
It is the story of time. It is the story of power. It is the story of politics. It is Bisi Akande's story. Bisi Akande is a former governor of Osun State. He has been around. On this edition of State Affairs, we want to delve into Bisi Akande's politics. Chief Bisi Akande, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
And how are you?
Well, I'm well. I feel good every day. People say I'm aging.
So do you feel you are aging?
I feel the same every day, except that the joints are becoming weak and the body is becoming sluggish.
You are 86 now.
Oh, yes.
And then you look good.
Well, I don't know. It's in your look.
You still play politics?
When you are in politics, you are in it forever. You play it until the last day. Because the politics is an art of serving people. And when you are born to serve, you must serve till the last day. You may not play partisan politics actively anymore, but you still play politics of your people. You believe in certain things, and there are others who believe in what you believe. And you have to defend their cause, and you must be with them. Give them courage. Give them, show passion and show empathy.
Studying your autobiography.
Thank you.
Should I say you reluctantly came into politics?
Well, I didn't know there was politics. I don't know what politics was. But I think I was born into some controversies, and I was living in them, and I grew into them, and it introduces me into what is now called politics.
Let's look at the death of Bola Ige.
Yes.
The way you described it here, was it a mistake for Bola Ige to join the Obasanjo government?
I wouldn't say it's a mistake. We supported it joining.
You supported it?
Not me. We. The Afenifere, the AD, we all supported it joining.
You did?
We voted for it.
Adebanjo had written a book telling it as it is, saying that Adebanjo,
telling lie, we met, and under the leadership of Fasami, we met under the leadership of Lam Adesina in Afenifere, and we asked Bola Ige to join the government. Lam Adesina said, okay, this matter is for AD, and we met under Fasami, the chairman of AD in the Southwest, and by acclamation, we asked Bola Ige.
But Adebanjo was the acting chairman at the time.
No, he wasn't acting chairman. It was Oyo State was our chairman at that time.
But Adebanjo did not support Bola Ige joining.
He didn't. He moved at that meeting. He had no supporter. He moved that Bola Ige should not be allowed to join, and nobody supported the motion.
But why should Bola Ige join a government led by the so-called enemy of his leader, Obafemi Awolowo?
Buhari sent me to prison. I'm now in APC with him.
No permanent enemy?
No, well, you are doing politics to win elections.
Why will Bola Ige join the government of a man you described as evil spirit?
Look, I said the party asked him to join. This man was in power. He said he wants to form a government of national unity. A government of national unity means a government of every party available. And we go to our party meeting and we say join.
And you sent your best material?
Oh, what's wrong? Would you have sent your worst one? You send the best to occupy a better. And it's the best. Look, what happened is this. I won't say best or not best. Obasanjo met Bola Ige. Come and join my government. And he said, no, I can't join your government. Tell my party. And before Obasanjo would tell the party, Bola Ige himself told the party. And we debated it. And we said, go and join. And so, if anything so happen, we are all responsible. It is only bad to say Bola Ige joined Obasanjo or something, so that no, we had a meeting at Ejabubu. We were unanimous asking him to go. We had a meeting at Kingsway something at Ikeja, and we were unanimous by acclamation. We asked him to go and join. So if it becomes a mistake, it's a mistake of the Yoruba AD.
Not the Bola Ige mistake.
No, it's our mistake.
You said Ige finally agreed to serve when he was given the go-ahead by our movement, Afenifere,
Yes.
and our party, the Alliance for Democracy,
Yes.
AD.
Yeah.
It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death. You wrote.
Yeah.
It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death.
When he did, I said so because one evening he just called me and said, I'm going to resign from this government tomorrow. It was sudden. And I said, please, sir, I will come back to you. And I called Oluwalero Timi. I called him. I said, this is what your friend told me, that he was going to resign from Obasanjo's government tomorrow. He asked me to advise him not to resign. If he does, he's likely going to die.
He said that?
He said that to me on phone. And I called Uncle and I begged him not to resign. And he said, well, he has talked to Wole Soyinka and to Bola Tinubu, and both of them said he should go and resign. I said, don't resign. You can go to Obasanjo, tell him what you are angry about, and tell him if he doesn't want you again, this is your letter. And he did so. And Obasanjo said, okay, what do you want us to do? And they agree on what to do. And Obasanjo agreed to do what he suggested. And when Ige was going away, Obasanjo called him back. Don't give that letter to the press. Give it to me and get the letter from him. Ige reported to me. And he didn't resign again. It was later, after that, that he was moved to Ministry of Justice.
What was it that Ige wanted?
Well, I think he said a decision was taken to undermine his position as Minister for Power. And he said Obasanjo resolved it by saying, okay, we are cancelling that decision. Obasanjo, Ige, and Atiku, both three sitting together will be resolving, will be taking the decision on the issue. That's how they resolved the matter. He told me this, he told me this, you know, and he never resigned and nothing happened.
You said in your book, I knew Obasanjo to be a faithless suitor and an unblinking philanderer on the political field. You trust him at your own peril. You wrote that?
Yes, I do.
Did Bola Ige trust Obasanjo at his own peril?
I would say so, if he ever trusted him.
Did he ever trust him?
I mean, since he was resigning from his government, I think he stopped trusting him.
Who killed Bola Ige?
Pardon?
Who killed Bola Ige?
I don't know. He was killed in Oyo State. I was ruling in Osun State.
He was killed
in Oyo State. I was ruling in Osun State.
Was the crisis in Osun State related to the death of Bola Ige? The crisis between you and your deputy, Omishore?
Not in any way.
Not in any way?
Not in any way. Not in any way.
It's not connected?
It is the anticipation. It is the anticipation of the future that Bola Ige might prevent. The government killed him. The government killed Bola Ige. I said so, I'm clear.
The government?
The government killed him.
It was a state murder?
It was a state murder.
How did you arrive at this conclusion? Because at that time, you were the chief security officer of Osun State.
Yes, not of Oyo State. Lam Adesina was the chief security something of Oyo State. Went to court. And the governor that took over from him, what's the name now?
Ladoja.
Ladoja. We withdrew the case from the court. He might be able to tell you more. He might know more than I know.
Ladoja might know more.
Oh, yes.
But Lam Adesina took the case to court.
To court, yes.
So Lam Adesina knew more.
Oh, he should know more
than you knew at the time.
Oh, definitely it happened in Oyo State.
And both of you were governors under Alliance for Democracy.
Oh, yes, we are.
So did Lam Adesina tell you what he knew?
He told me many things which I may not be able to tell you.
The many things you did not write in this book?
Yes, which I didn't write in that book.
Why, Chief Akande?
Because there are many things you may know and you don't tell the public.
You don't want to tell us?
I don't want to tell anybody.
Please tell us.
No, I will not.
We want to know.
I don't want to tell anybody.
I'm talking about Bola Ige here, your mentor.
Oh, yeah, Bola Ige is dead. Lam Adesina is dead. Who will be my witness now? Nobody. So I don't want to say. There are many things you know, it dies with you.
It dies with you?
Yes. But I know Lam Adesina went to court and he will have proved his case in court. And I know Ladoja withdrew the case from court. He would know more about how Bola Ige died.
It was government that killed Bola Ige?
It was government that killed Bola Ige.
It was not Obasanjo that killed Bola Ige?
I don't know who killed Bola Ige.
But you know it is government?
It's government.
He was the Attorney General?
Yes, government can kill anybody.
Before his death, somebody removed his cap in Ife.
Yes.
Who did that?
Honestly, I don't know.
You were the governor?
I wasn't in Ife at that time. I wasn't even in the country. But Bola Ige told me the story. You know, a year before then, when Bola Ige was 70 years old, I advised him to stop going to socials. That between 70 and a few years, he should be able to write his memoir. And that was very important to me. So anytime he goes to any function, and I pick my phone to query him, he will say, Bisi, please forgive me, you know, he's so person, I have to be there, you know. And we joke about it. But I always say, Uncle, the way you go, you won't write this thing. He will say, okay, I will, you know. And that was one of the reasons he was resigning from that government. But when he told me about what happened in Ife, I was very sad. And I said, I told you not to be going to such socials. It was happening in my state. I didn't go there. I wasn't in the country that day, but many things happened before that day. I didn't attend. I was the governor and I wouldn't go. I didn't want Bola to be going to socials.
Was that a sign that something bad was coming?
No, because I wanted him to write his memoir. And I know social, waste your time. You don't do many things you ought to have done.
He was also interested in still becoming president?
I don't think anymore. Before he died, I don't think anymore. But he would be interested in getting anybody within our party becoming president. Who, I don't know.
Did you see the resignation letter he wrote?
Yes.
What did he say in that letter?
I can't remember, but I think it was shown to me after his death. I think I saw it after his death. How I saw it, I can't remember, but I think I saw it after his death. The first one I didn't see, but he told me about it. That was about a year before the one he wrote.
And you alluded in this book that Obasanjo wasn't keen about investigating the assassination of Bola Ige.
I mean, is it me that wrote, or we know, he wasn't keen. He wasn't interested about Bola Ige's death, he was more interested about the stability of himself in power and, if possible, continuance after.
But some suspects were arrested.
Some
suspects were arrested.
Oh yes, that's.
They were taken to court.
That was for the police. I wouldn't know about that. In Oyo State.
Even Obishori was arrested.
Yes, that was for the police in Oyo State. The police was doing his job in the light they have.
Yes, hi everyone, good evening to you, good evening everyone, good evening. Yes, I sincerely hope that I meet you all well, in top form and in great spirit. Good evening. How are you today? Yes, here is another fantastic epic video for you to enjoy and for you to share with your loved ones. As you know, we bring you some of the most difficult investigation, and we bring you some of the finest in information from this end of the dispatch box from No Media TV in London. Yes, I am your host. Frank Bello is my name, and we're back again today, Thursday, the 27th day of the second month of February 2025. Now, I want to seize this opportunity to thank a handful of you, my avid viewers and followers around the world. I think at the top of my head, I know a handful of you that are very regular with me. First is Narada Franklin, and second is Omolara Omibeku Orowale. Third is Anibolaji. Fourth, Alaja Folake Alawiye. Fifth, Patricia Dom Pedro. Six, who again? Abbas Ganiu. And yes, I think I'll begin to mention a few of you that are very regular but consistently. Narada Franklin and Alaja Folake Alawiye and Bola Ige, Omolara Omibeku Wale. They've been with me for some time, and they do tune in to watch many of our videos and live stream. Yes, we are back again, and you are welcome to yet another epic video from our channel No Media TV in London. In this video presentation, you see, we want to once again revisit the killing of Nigeria's former Attorney General, that is the AGF of the Federation, Chief Bola Ige, in 2001. In Nigeria, the assassination took place in Nigeria under the watchful eyes of the then sitting president, President Olusegun Obasanjo in Nigeria. Now, earlier on, see, I watched the explosive interview of Chief Bisi Akande, one of the chieftains of the APC and the former governor of Osun State, with my very good friend Edmund Obilo on state affairs. The interview, I have to admit, it was very flammable. And in the flammable video exposition, the former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akande, raised fresh concerns about the unresolved assassination of the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Bola Ige. Bisi Akande asserts that the former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, may have vital information regarding the murder case. See, you watched the video earlier on, but this time around I want to put in my own special contributions to the explosive interview. I put up a call through to Edmund Obilo in Nigeria before using his literary piece that I will term his intellectual property, to obtain permission from him, from his program, for me to use about 5 minutes of that duration within the interview, that serious concern was raised on the death of Chief Bola Ige. I got a call coming in, that's why the camera, as a matter of fact, got frozen. So the former Oyo State governor, Rashidi Ladoja, was accused of the murder case of the late Chief Bola Ige, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice under Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, you can clearly see, because Ladoja's picture, for the benefit of those who are not accustomed to him, you are, as a matter of fact, looking at his picture right down there. That's Rashidi Ladoja, the former governor of Oyo State. There's a lot more to the story, if I may say, because I am going to tell you my own part before the whole episode unfolded from 1999. Now, in the explosive interview with Edmund Obilo in Ibadan, Nigeria, southwest Nigeria, Akande, that is Chief Bisi Akande, lamented that key figures, that is key individuals who might have shed more light on the brutal assassination of Bola Ige, including a former Oyo State governor, Lam Adesina, had died. True. Now, Bola Ige became the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice in 1999. And I remember very, very well that the moment Chief Bola Ige was appointed as the Minister of Energy and Mines at the time, under Olusegun Obasanjo between 1999 and 2000, Beams Bola Amole of Pekan was alive at the time. I was glad I was able to see far more into the future. And the moment the announcement was made, I went straight to Bola Amole Beams in Pekan to, as a matter of fact, tell Beams, because Beams, Bola Amole was actively involved in politics with Lam Adesina at the time when he was governor of Oyo State and the Osun State governor Adefarati. I went to Beams and I told Beams equally passed away, as you all know. And I told Beams to please tell Uncle Bola Ige not to accept the ministerial slot that Obasanjo is using to entice him. I told Beams Bola Amole emphatically that Obasanjo wants to get rid of Chief Bola Ige because Obasanjo is thinking about the next election, and because we, the Yorubas, we've not really forgiven Olusegun Obasanjo for betraying Chief Obafemi Awolowo in 1979. So we, the Yorubas, believed Obasanjo is not and never to be trusted by the Yorubas, because Olusegun Obasanjo happens indirectly working for the Fulanis and the Northerners. So I told Beams, please tell Uncle Bola Ige never to accept any political post from Obasanjo, because he's the only remaining Awoist that we have. And with Bola Ige's living with us and being with us, Obasanjo knew at the time that it would be practically impossible for him to penetrate the Southwest. I knew the game, and I knew exactly what Olusegun Obasanjo was playing at. The North were already messing him up that he was unable to even win an election in his own yard. That they, the Northerners, installed Obasanjo, so he's got no clout or mouth to talk to them anyhow, and whatever they want Obasanjo to do or to carry out in his government, they will call the shot. All my political calculations were right. Now let's carry on. Bisi Akande then asserts that there are many things that die with people. So in other words, he's going to die and go to his grave with some information that are classified and they can never be made public. Now, he further disclosed that Lam Adesina at the time, the then governor of Oyo State, went to court over the murder case of the late Chief Bola Ige. He said further, I also know that his successor, Rashidi Ladoja, withdrew the case from the court. He then said, if you ask Ladoja, he said, Akande said to Edmund Obilo, if you ask Ladoja, he would know more about Bola Ige's death. Who killed Bola Ige? I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you with proofs. Like I said, Ige was the last remaining Awoist, and there's always been a tough rivalry between Papa Awolowo and Obasanjo from day one. And if I may say, for those of you that were not born in 1979, or perhaps you're coming across this video and you don't really know exactly what happened between 1976 and 1979, we witnessed it. I witnessed it, at least for the very first time in my entire whole life. In 1979, I casted my very first ballot in a general election in Nigeria at the time, and I voted my conscience, and no money exchanged hands. I voted the UPN because both the Unity Party of Nigeria, the UPN, the National Party of Nigeria, the MPN, the People's Redemption Party of Aminu Kano, the PRP, the Great Nigeria People's Party of I think that was Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim from Maiduguri. All of them, there were 5 of those political parties that were registered by FEDECO, Federal Electoral Commission, by the government at the time. So no money exchanged hands. Each and every of these political parties, they campaigned, they fought ruthlessly based on their policies, agendas, and what they hope to deliver to the Nigerian people. So Olusegun Obasanjo at the time was not really comfortable with Chief Obafemi Awolowo winning that election, to which he won. But perhaps the mistake Chief Obafemi Awolowo made during the campaign was to probe Obasanjo's administration, because there were loads of lootings and stealing during that administration. Obasanjo equally looted Nigeria between 1976 and 1979. A lot of looting, fraud under Obasanjo's administration. So perhaps Olusegun Obasanjo in 1979 was afraid of the hammer the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo is going to bring should the elections in 1979 was passed down and then handed over to him. But the Fulanis in the north, knowing fully well that Obasanjo ruled, so power must equally go back to the north, were at Obasanjo's throat, and if Obasanjo should make any nasty moves, the north will simply kill him, eliminate him. Now, let's carry on. Bisi Akande told Edmund Obilo that he was the chief security officer of Osun State at the time of Chief Bola Ige's murder, and not Oyo State, where the assassination took place. Of course, we all know that Lam Adesina was the chief executive of Oyo State at that time, and as an AD governor, Lam Adesina went to court. Now, Obasanjo the head in Abuja, PDP, and the North were frustrating him that he was unable to win even an election, and he was unable to capture any state in the southwest. So the entire southwest, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti, all the 6 states, were won gallantly by the Alliance for Democracy, AD, at the time. Now, because Lam Adesina was the chief security officer of Oyo State, he took the matter to court. But Ladoja happens to be the governor that took over after Lam Adesina. Now, this is going to fall into places because immediately Bola Ige was assassinated in 2001. So the next general election was in 2003. So Obasanjo was already calculating for the next election, and he was prepared to do anything possible to get rid of any Yoruba person that will truncate the way he wants to grab the entire southwest through fraud and through massive rigging. using the power at the center of government. Now, Obasanjo rigged the election in 2003. Bola Ige was killed, assassinated in 2001. So nobody else except Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who then stood in the gap. Now, because Bola Ige was assassinated in 2001, that now gave Obasanjo the leeway to rig all the elections in the southwest. Hence, Osun State was rigged and was snatched away from Segun Oshoba, also an AD governor. And then Bunga Daniels became the governor from the PDP. Are you getting it? Oyo State was rigged by Obasanjo as well in 2003. So that was when Ladoja became the governor. I want you to please follow me because I want to open up your eyes into many things that you were unable to see. So in 2003, Ladoja became the governor of Oyo State with the massive rigging that Obasanjo and the PDP perpetrated right in Oyo State to push Lam Adesina to one side. Osun State was equally rigged, and that brought Olagunsoye Oyinlola as governor. Obasanjo took Oyo State too. Okay? Now, Ondo State was equally rigged, and then Obasanjo put his friend Agagu in there. It was rigged. I investigated Ondo State because my friend was the then Deji of Akure land from the Oshukpa family, Oshukpa ruling house. Ekiti State was also rigged by Obasanjo that installed Ayo Fayose. I knew, and I was arguing at the time with Emmanuel Oluwayoshi, one of Fayose's brother, that was a client of mine when I used to publish Rumors magazine and Discovery magazine at the time. Iman Oluwayoshi, he changed his name to Fayose to Oluwayoshi, obviously because he became a born again or something like that. Iman wanted me to join their campaign train with his brother Fayose, and I said no, I'm not going to get myself involved here. Iman, I'm off the track. People will know exactly what I am talking about. So Obasanjo grabbed Ekiti State as well. The only state that was remaining was Lagos State, to which Bola Ahmed Tinubu put his foot down that no, this one is not going to happen in my domain. Challenged Obasanjo to the last straw. Now, the same Tinubu was the one that actually fought on behalf of Mimiko to regain Ondo State back, because I knew that the Ondo State people never voted Agagu and that Mimiko was the rightful person they voted for. I was on the street and I interviewed a lot of people at the time, including the then Deji that was dethroned. So Obasanjo's plan of eliminating Chief Bola Ige in 2001 through a state assassination worked out at the end of the day. So Ladoja became governor in 2003. So when Ladoja then became the governor, the case of Chief Bola Ige that was in court, that the chief security officer at the time, Lam Adesina, was contesting, Ladoja withdrew the case. So that was why Chief Bisi Akande was able to tell Edmund Obilo, and he was able to pen it down in his book, that Ladoja might be able to tell we, the Yoruba people, more about the death of Chief Bola Ige. And he further said, I believe he has more information as the chief executive and the chief security officer of the state on Bola Ige's death. So Akande said during the hot session with Edmund Obilo. Now, Chief Bisi Akande also regretted that the former governor of Oyo State in 1999 told him many things that he may be unable to disclose publicly or tell anyone. Okay, then I started scratching my head. But what can this be? What can Lam Adesina told Bisi Akande that Akande is not prepared to share with us publicly, especially when it involved such a high-profile murder case involving not just an ordinary citizen of a country, but the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice murdered, assassinated. Okay, but hang on, why is Bisi Akande not telling us? Why is he saying he's going to die, or will rather die, with such information? So you want to go down to your grave without telling anyone? But why? So Akande gave reasons, and the reasons were that there are many things that he doesn't want to tell the public. Many things he doesn't want to tell the public. Now, guys, what are those many things that Bisi Akande doesn't want to tell you and I and the public, especially with the killing of one of ours, our leader, the man that will say, oh, Yoruba people, don't worry, we will sort it out, and we will all listen. Now, Chief Bisi Akande said, I don't want to tell anybody. Okay. He then gave one reason, and he said, now Bola Ige is dead, and Lam Adesina is dead too. So who will be my witness? He said, nobody. Okay, that made a lot of sense, but not when it involved such a high-profile case, high-profile murder case. Now, let's look at the events that happened just last week with the launching of Ibrahim Babangida's book in Abuja. You see, many of the participants of June 12 were dead. They were unable to actually contest exactly some of the gaps inside Babangida's book. Terrible. Abacha dead. Some of them are gone. But you see, in that case, I believe the publisher of the book has not done a very good job. I'm going to tell you a little bit more on my own personal proposal on the format and the way the real IBB's autobiography ought to go. And I think about 2.5 years ago, I shared this with his spokesman Kasim Afegbua in London when he was around. In fact, he took a prototype, a dummy of the book, and some of the pages that I had already put together, because I had so much information on Ibrahim Babangida, and I suggested sometime to him as well through a telephone conversation that it's about time. I'm not going to deviate. Let's face exactly the issue of the death of Chief Bola Ige, the assassination of Bola Ige. So Akande said Bola Ige is dead. Lam Adesina is dead too. So who will be his witness? Nobody. It made a lot of sense. Now he continued, and then he further told Edmund Obilo that I know, quote, I know Lam Adesina went to court on the matter, and Ladoja withdrew the case from the court. Ask Ladoja. He was posing the question to Edmund Obilo. He would know more about Bola Ige's death. Akande insisted he will know more about Chief Bola Ige's death, and he was insisting. Now don't forget, Bisi Akande said there was some information he was not prepared to share with you and I in the public domain. I think I'm going to get to the root of this at some point in time. Now, perhaps, you see, during my introduction, I asked who killed Bola Ige. And maybe you want to revisit the earlier intro from the beginning, before the interview session that involved Edmund Obilo and Chief Bisi Akande. In one of the banners, you will see I asked, between some high-profile people in Nigeria, between Obasanjo, I'm mentioning names, between Obasanjo, number 2, Ladoja, number three, Iyola Omishore, and number 4, Sunday Igboho, who killed Bola Ige. When Ladoja became the governor of Oyo State in 2003, Igboho was working for Rashidi Ladoja. Just like MC Oluomo is to Bola Tinubu in Lagos, so also I believe Sunday Igboho, Sunday Adeyemo, that people refer to as Sunday Adeyemo Usha, was equally working for Rashidi Ladoja at the time. So Akande insisted we should ask Ladoja. This is going to become clearer to you as we go further, guys. Just stay tuned with us. Now, let us rewind and then go back to 1999. Former President Obasanjo appointed Bola Ige first as Minister of Mines and Power between 1999 and 2000. Listen very carefully. Now, I have a problem with that. What has someone who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, son, and a barrister doing at the Ministry of Mines and Power? He's not an engineer, not a scientist, barrister. Why mismatching him for that role? Now you will see, and you will find out more about that. So he was first appointed as Minister of Mines and Power between 1999 and 2000. When he was not able to make significant improvements to the service provided by the monopolistic National Electric Power Authority, NEPA, Ige was redeployed by Obasanjo as Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation between 2000 and until the time he was assassinated in 2001. A lawyer and a son made Minister of Mines and Power. That is the most ridiculous appointment you can ever think of giving to a man. Àfínjú lawyer tó ń dúró síwájú adájọ́ tó máa bá adájọ́ argue. Obasanjo lọ gbé lọ sí Mines and Power. Now, there's a lot more inside because Obasanjo never wanted to power Nigeria. Obasanjo probably expected Ige, Bola Ige, will dance to his own tune to embezzle and steal money. Now you will find out. Akande claimed that Bola Ige, a chieftain of the opposition Alliance for Democracy, regretted joining Obasanjo's People's Democratic Party PDP administration, describing it as a case of death. You see, I wouldn't be able to say whether the time I approached Bola Monley Beams in Peckham, whether my message was actually passed on to Chief Bola Ige, that, well, one of our reputable publisher in London has asked me to tell you not to accept the offer from Obasanjo because I told Beams Obasanjo is going to kill Bola Ige. I made it known in 1999, and I told Beams emphatically. But you see, many people don't seem to want to believe me when I say things, even within the Yoruba nation. When I was with them, TJ, Sister Ade, and the rest of them, Adekunle Oluwalano, you see, sometimes they don't even tell me exactly what they were doing because they must have held their own meeting behind closed doors and then come to me. But you see, by the time they came to me, I would be telling them, not that someone was telling me, because I had already seen it well in advance. I can only advise them, and that's the way God, Tetragrammaton Sabbath, molded me. So Chief Bola Ige described the appointment as a kiss of death. Working with the PDP was a kiss of death. Ẹni tó kìsì ikú, ẹni tó ń gbé ẹnu sí ikú lẹ́nu, in Yoruba language. Nǹkan tí Bola Ige sọ nìyẹn o fún Bisi Akande pé kàmá pé bóun ṣe bá PDP ṣiṣẹ́ under Ọbásanjọ́ wípé bí ẹni pé èèyàn gbé ẹnu síkú lẹ́nu ni. And lóòótọ́ Chief Bola Ige perhaps never realized the fact that I had already given him warnings through beams in Peckham that they will kill him. Now, I was on a chat with someone and I was telling someone, sometimes when you do certain things that were wrong in this life, the source of all creation always give people the benefit of the doubt and a second chance. But the moment you are not listening to his command, what the source of all creation will do is to now hand you over to your enemies to devour you. Just like our body is talking to us when we're about to fall ill or something like that, you will get the signal. You see, because we are part of nature, so we get that signal. For me, it was the biggest mistake that Chief Bola Ige made at the time. Now, let's carry on. Now, Akande then disagreed when asked. It was a mistake for Ige to have joined Obasanjo's administration, stating that the decision was a collective one made by both Afenifere and the Alliance for Democracy, AD. So he said, oh, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. We supported him, that is Bola Ige, in joining the administration and the government of Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. So that means Afenifere and the Alliance for Democracy both agreed. Akande said we met under the leadership of Oyo State in AD. Oyo State was the leader of the AD. They met again under Lam Adesina's leadership in Afenifere and asked Bola Ige to join the Obasanjo's government. So both the Alliance for Democracy at the time, controlling all the 6 southwest geopolitical zone, and the Afenifere all made up their mind in a collective decision for Bola Ige to join Obasanjo in government. So what then happened was that Lam Adesina asked that all of them should discuss the matter in the AD, and they met under Fasomi, the chairman of AD in the southwest. So by acclamation, all of them asked Bola Ige to join the government. You see, go back and watch that interview, because I had already taken permission from Edmund Obilo to actually talk a little bit more on the gravity of the interview, because my own intention is to take that portion of the interview on the assassination of Bola Ige to a different realm entirely. So all of them collectively, they supported Bola Ige to join Obasanjo's government and administration. He went further. We met under the leadership of Oyo State in AD and Lam Adesina in Afenifere and asked Bola Ige to join. It was a unanimous decision. So Akande also made it known that when Obasanjo came to power, he wanted to form a government of national unity. A government of national unity, a government of every party available, and therefore consulted Ige to join them. Why Bola Ige? Why not somebody else from the AD, or for Obasanjo to call the Alliance for Democracy, for them to bring forth somebody from their party to join him in government? Why was Obasanjo interested in Bola Ige especially? Why was Obasanjo in 1999 was so desperate to have Bola Ige in his government and not somebody else that the Alliance for Democracy and Afenifere can collectively put together within the Pan-Yoruba socio-cultural group and the Yoruba political group, the AD? Obasanjo knew his mission, and as a military man, he knows exactly. It was like Obasanjo was, as a military man, a retired general. He believed he was at the war front, and his mission at that time is to win, to defeat the enemies. And the enemy of Obasanjo that will make sure Obasanjo did not make any headway in the southwest happens to be Bola Ige. And Bola Ige had to be gotten rid of for him to be able to actually take his next ambition to the next level. So Akande also made it known that when Obasanjo came to power, he wanted to form that government of national unity. So Obasanjo met Bola Ige and asked him to join his executives. So what then happened? Chief Bola Ige asked Obasanjo to tell his party. So, but before Obasanjo would inform the Alliance for Democracy, his own political party, Ige himself had told the party, and they debated it and asked him to go and join. So Akande then made it known that if anything so happens, we are all responsible. All of them, no, I'm not. All of them in AD and Afenifere were all responsible for Chief Bola Ige's death because it was a joint decision. Akande said we held meeting at Ijebu-Igbo and we were unanimous, asking him to go and join Obasanjo's administration. We held another meeting at AD, Alliance for Democracy, and by acclamation we asked him to go and join Odimeji. Abi? So, if asking Bola Ige to join Obasanjo was a mistake, according to Bisi Akande with Edmund Obilo, it's a mistake of the Yoruba Alliance for Democracy and the Afenifere. Now, somebody amongst them inside Afenifere objected, and that person was Pa Ayo Adebanjo, the late Pa Ayo Adebanjo. Let's now come to the role the late Chief Ayo Adebanjo played in the saga, according to Chief Bisi Akande. Now, Akande pointed out that Ayo Adebanjo opposed Ige's decision to join the government but had no supporters. The late Pa Ayo Adebanjo, he was the only person, a loner, both in AD and in Afenifere, who opposed vehemently that their Oga, Chief Bola Ige, must never join Obasanjo's government. But he was a loner. He had no support or supporters. So responding to the idea that Bola Ige had aligned with Awolowo's political advisory, this was a question asked by Edmund Obilo. He asked Akande, why did Bola Ige aligned with Chief Obafemi Awolowo's political adversary, Olusegun Obasanjo? Akande then dismissed such notions by citing his own political journey that I don't really want to go into. So he then said to Edmund during the explosive interview that Buhari sent me to jail. That is, Akande said Buhari sent him to jail, and now in the APC with him, they are both in the APC together. So he claimed there are no permanent enemies in politics. No permanent enemy in politics. They are all the same. They are all in the game together. Now listen, if you watch very carefully that interview, guess what Chief Bisi Akande said? And I think I did made this known sometime not too long ago, perhaps a couple of weeks ago, because we're in February this year. So it was, I think it was either middle of January. Guess what Bisi Akande said? You don't have permanent enemies in politics. He said, we are in politics to win elections. Now, I want you to please watch this video clip of the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Watch the video clip, and then I will be back with you after. Watch the video clip very well, because the video clip is talking about politicians and leadership. Watch it. Here it is.
Don't ever believe that a politician is a leader. Don't ever believe that. Because the system that we have produces politicians. It doesn't produce leaders. And so you can have a politician who knows nothing about leadership, and he's leading you. Politicians are concerned about the next election. That's all they're interested in. That's why they cannot be leaders. But leaders are different. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. I want you to compare those two thoughts the next time you have a politician come to your house wanting to vie for your vote. Just ask him, what is your vision for my children? I will sit and listen for 20 minutes for you to tell me what it is. He will leave your house because he has no interest in your children's children. His concern is to stay in power, to keep the position, to win the next election. This is why they cannot lead. When you are going to have a conversation with a politician, you should actually try this as a test. You, by the way, as a citizen of a community, you have a right to be seen by the mayor. I hope you know that. If you voted for a mayor, the mayor works for you. Therefore, you have a right to see him. You can make an appointment to see any public officer you voted for. Did you know that? That's your legal right. If he don't want to see you, you can take him to court. That's democracy. So I want you to make an appointment to go and see your mayor or go and see your governor and just sit and say, I want 30 minutes with you, sir. And ask him about that list right there. And sir, what is your purpose for being in leadership in this city? What is your purpose? The first question will make him very nervous. Second question, what is your passion for our community? He'll be wondering what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I just want to build roads and bridges and provide jobs. No. What is your passion? And this is why we need to question the leaders we have. And so I have a little thought here. I call it politics versus leadership. Let's talk about it for a second. Number one, politicians focus on programs, not vision. Number two, politicians' priority is securing the next election, not securing the next generation. Their focus is different. Number three, politicians are preoccupied with promises, not purpose. What we need is statesmen. Stateswomen. We don't need more politicians. A statesman is an interesting human. A statesman think of the next generation.
Okay, guys, you're welcome back. In the video clip that you have just finished watching, Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe, may his soul rest in perfect peace, indicated that you should never believe politicians are leaders. Did you hear that? Let's hear that clip once again.
Don't ever believe that a politician is a leader. Don't ever believe that.
You see that? You should never believe politicians are leaders. He said the systems we have today only produced politicians and not leaders. Yes? Bisi Akande was equally saying this again, that they are in politics to win elections, and you can hear Dr. Miles Monroe telling you that they are only there to win elections. So Miles Monroe then carried on and then said in that same video that you can have politicians who know nothing about leadership and he's leading you. You can have politicians that know nothing about leadership, but he's leading you. Look at all your past heads of state and presidents and begin to patch things together. And Miles Monroe said politicians are only concerned about the next election. Because they are concerned with the next election, that's why politicians cannot be leaders. He then said, but leaders are different. Leaders are concerned with the next generation. The late Chief Obafemi Awolowo was a leader. He wasn't a politician. And that was why he was unable to win elections. Because the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo was thinking about the next generation. All the politicians you have, or you've had, they're just blood-sucking parasites. They are not leaders. Already, you can clearly see they're thinking about 2027. 2023 came, they've done nothing. But they're already thinking about 2027. So the moment they win election, they're thinking about the next election. So leaders are different. Leaders are concerned with the next generation and how to build the next generation. So I then came to that notion to now begin to patch things together. See, Bisi Akande, during that explosive interview with Edmund Obilo, buttresses my argument and buttresses Miles Monroe's argument that they all are in politics to win elections. This has been the case in Nigeria from 1960 to 1979 and right up to 1999 and right up till today, 2025. Let's continue. Bisi Akande further stressed with Edmund Obilo that the pioneer interim national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress recalled a conversation in which Ige confided in him about resigning. So Bola Ige confided before he was assassinated with the pioneer interim national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Well, they formed All Progressives Congress, but then AD. So Chief Bola Ige confided in him that he was going to resign from Obasanjo's government. So one evening, Chief Bola Ige called Bisi Akande and said, in quote, "I am going to resign from this government." End quote. Bisi Akande then replied Chief Bola Ige by saying, "Please, sir, I will come back to you." So what then happened? Bisi Akande then called Chief Bola Ige's friend Rotimi, who then told him to advise Chief Bola Ige not to resign, because if he does, listen, he's likely going to die. Bisi Akande put up a call through to Ige's friend Rotimi. Rotimi told Bola Ige to advise, told Akande to advise Bola Ige not to resign. Should he resign, he's likely to die. So they all saw it coming. What does this mean? State assassination by the federal government of Nigeria, FGN. So Akande then said on the live interview program with Edmund Obilo that, "I will call you back, Uncle Ige." And he did call Ige back after he had a chat with his bosom friend Rotimi. And Bisi Akande then begged Ige not to resign. He told Ige he had spoken to Professor Soyinka and the then governor of Lagos, who is the incumbent president, Bola Tinubu, and that both of them, Professor Soyinka and Bola Tinubu, had asked him to resign. So Professor Soyinka said Chief Bola Ige should resign, and the then governor of Lagos, Bola Tinubu, equally suggested so that Chief Bola Ige should resign. But Bisi Akande then said he asked him not to resign. I then said, quote, continue with Chief Bisi Akande. Bisi Akande said, you can go to Obasanjo, which was a very good advice. Tell him what you are angry about and tell him that if he doesn't want you again, this is your letter. So Chief Bola Ige did as advised by Chief Bisi Akande and went to Obasanjo. So during that meeting with Obasanjo then asked Chief Bola Ige what he wanted him to do. They both agreed. So Obasanjo and Chief Bola Ige met halfway. So when Chief Bola Ige was leaving Obasanjo's office, Obasanjo then said to Bola Ige, don't give that letter to the press, because Obasanjo knew the gravity that letter will end up in the press, in the hands of the press. Don't give that letter to the press. Give it to me. Obasanjo instructed Chief Bola Ige not to give his resignation letter to the press, but he wants to have it. And Chief Bola Ige dropped the letter. So Chief Bola Ige was the one telling Chief Bisi Akande all these stories that were behind closed doors with himself and Obasanjo. So it was later, after that Obasanjo then moved Chief Bola Ige from the Ministry of Mines and Power to the Ministry of Justice, when he then became the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. So Chief Bisi Akande emphasized that Bola Ige's murder was politically motivated. Bola Ige was killed in anticipation of what he might become in the future. That was exactly what I said earlier on. So Obasanjo knew what is to come, because he knew exactly what is to come. He was then scared of Chief Bola Ige, because if Bola Ige, like I emphasized earlier on, is still alive today, Obasanjo would never in a million years be able to run the way he ran over the entire Southwest in 2003. Trust me, he won't. But because it was a calculated murder, and like I said, Obasanjo being a military man, a man trained to kill, and it trained to kill. His major job is to just kill. So he had already planned everything. So he was killed in anticipation. Bola Ige was killed in anticipation of what he might become in the future. And what is that? A threat to Obasanjo. So Akande said Chief Bola Ige's death was a state murder, state assassination. The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, FGN, killed Bola Ige. They killed him. And again, I'm still going to ask the question. That question, here it is. Check it now. Who killed Bola Ige? Between Obasanjo, Ladoja, Iyele Mishori, and Sunday Igboho, Sunday Adeyemo Osha, who killed Bola Ige? State murder. The government killed Bola Ige. Bisi Akande said the government can kill anybody. True. Delegiwa was killed. Delegiwa was killed during Ibrahim Babangida's regime. Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed during Abacha's regime. Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was killed during Abacha's regime. The government can kill anybody at any time, Akande said. So he noted as well that Oyo State, not Osun State, where he was governor, was the jurisdiction of the crime. Chief Bola Ige was killed in Ibadan, in his home in Ibadan, and not Osun State. So Bisi Akande said, I was the chief security officer of Osun State and not Oyo State. Lam Adesina was in charge in Oyo State as the chief security officer, and he took the case. Lam Adesina took the case to court. But when Rashidi Ladoja became governor in 2003, Ladoja simply withdrew the case from court. You see, a Yoruba man that was the head of state killed another Yoruba man that was a threat to him, and a Yoruba man again who then became the chief security officer of the state that the same Yoruba man was killed, then suddenly withdrew the case from the court. Yoruba on Yoruba. Killing themselves for power. You see, because, later I'm still going to say that, or should I say it now? No, let's say it now. Ladoja, probably because of his involvement in the killing or the assassination of Bola Ige, equally had a rough time with Obasanjo too. Now, some of the rough times, you can, as a matter of fact, hear Sunday Igboho himself exposing everything, especially the fracas between Ladoja and Obasanjo, and how Obasanjo tried to set up Ladoja and Sunday Igboho being a man that normally called Ladoja as Uluwami, and he was perfectly milking his money from politics at the time before siding his tracks with the Yoruba Nation agitation. The video was out, but maybe if I'm able to lay my hands on those videos in my archives or the voice note, I'm going to replay that to you. So Akande, the chief security officer of Osun State, Lam Adesina was in charge in Oyo State, and he took the case to court, but Rashidi Ladoja, when he became governor, withdrew the case. So Bisi Akande then said to Edmund Obilo that Rashidi Ladoja might know more than he does in the assassination of Chief Bola Ige. Now, Akande equally accused the Obasanjo administration of showing little interest in solving the murder. Obasanjo was never interested. Never Obasanjo's interest to solve the killing of a Yoruba man, when he, as a matter of fact, was the president. You see, throughout the authentic Muhammadu Buhari and the fake dodgy latex silicone different Muhammadu Buhari they presented to you in 8 years, how many profile Fulani people in the political spectrum have you ever heard being killed? Minus the Boko Haram threats and the attacks by bandits and Boko Haram. How many? None. So Akande accused Obasanjo's administration of showing little interest in solving Chief Bola Ige's murder case. Obasanjo was never interested. At the end of the day, Obasanjo's goals, his goals had already been achieved to get rid of the man that may pose to be a threat to his administration whilst in office. So Akande said if Ige ever trusted Obasanjo, Akande said if Ige ever trusted Obasanjo, he did at his own peril, adding that since Ige was resigning from his government, I think Obasanjo stopped trusting him. So Obasanjo stopped trusting Bola Ige the moment his resignation letter was tendered. Simple. So Chief Bisi Akande equally made it known to us publicly that Obasanjo wasn't really keen on investigating who killed Bola Ige, but was only interested in the stability of himself in power and possible continuation of his ability to control power by default. And hey, he's winning. He installed Umaru Yar'Adua. He drafted in Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. You heard? So regarding the attack on Ige before his murder, in which his cap was publicly removed, we all remember that when he was somewhere in Modakeke in Ife and his cap was removed by a bird. Akande admitted he did not know the perpetrators. I wasn't in the country according to Akande at the time, but Ige told me about it. I advised him to focus on writing his memoir, that is his autobiography, instead of attending social events. But unfortunately, he never got to that level. He never got the chance to write his memoir. So Edmund Obilo then asked about Ige's political ambitions. Now Akande said that Ige did not believe, that he believed, Akande said he believed Bola Ige was not interested in the presidency. Bola Ige was never interested in the presidency, and he doesn't want to become the president at the time of his death, but was focused on ensuring someone else from the Alliance for Democracy, AD, contested. So, in other words, had Chief Bola Ige was to be alive, perhaps we won't see the emergence of another political party called ACN, Action Congress, after AD. We wouldn't see another political party called the APC, or Progressives Congress. Maybe all those should have been aborted, but Ikulo Bolaje, the death of Bola Ige paved way for all these political touts to now flood the political scenes in the Southwest. So he wasn't really interested in becoming the president, but his ambition at that time was to make sure somebody else within the AD becomes the president. This makes a lot of sense to me. Now, I want you to please listen to this. See, it is not easy to see. I'm standing, and it's perhaps almost coming to about an hour and a half with this video presentation. Now, listen to this and make sense of it. After the interview with Edmund Obilo on state affairs, Punch newspaper in Nigeria contacted Ladoja's media aide Adeola Oloko. Maybe it's Oloko or maybe it's Oloko, but forgive me please if I pronounce it right. Oloko, because there's no Ami Isale, so I'll believe it is Oloko and not Oloko. I don't know whether you've got a big Oloko down there. Anyway, I'm just joking, guys. So Punch newspaper in Nigeria contacted Ladoja's media aide Adeola Oloko last Sunday, February 23rd, 2025 at about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Oloko asked the Punch correspondent to call him back at 6 p.m. for his reaction. They want to get Ladoja's reaction to Bisi Akande's explosive interview with Edmund Obilo on state affairs. So, however, the correspondent, Punch newspaper correspondent, called back Oloko at 6 p.m. same day. Oloko then said, "I will get back to you as soon as I have Ladoja's response to the issue at hand." think Ladoja responded later on and then said he's going to sue Chief Bisi Akande that there was no case on Bola Ige's death in court. Is Ladoja telling us, is Ladoja telling us that he was unaware that Chief Bola Ige was murdered in Oyo State and his predecessor, Lam Adesina, wanted to pursue the case in court? And why is Ladoja not interested in Chief Bola Ige's death, even though after Obasanjo rigged the election that installed him as Oyo State governor, that he had the audacity to now carpet a high-profile murder case that he should then must have carried on to now say, no, I'm the new chief security officer of Oyo State. I want to get to the root of this nonsense. I don't care. Let's put party politics to one side. Does that mean Chief Bola Ige's death could be an inside job between Obasanjo as the president, Ladoja as well, Iyolo Mishori, and Sunday Igboho, because Sunday Igboho was actually working with both Omishori and Ladoja at the same time. So I think something is fishy, because throughout the duration of all the subsequent governors that came after Lam Adesina, none of them were interested. Alawa Akala too was never interested. After Obasanjo deposed Ladoja and replaced him with Alawa Akala, Alawa Akala was never interested too. None of them were interested to investigate such a high-profile murder case in Oyo State. For me, I've got no options but to conclude that something fishy is there. Now, I want you to please watch this next display banner. Watch it. I'm going to display that right away. Okay. What can you see? Drop your comments. This last banner you've just seen. Drop your comment. So, something must be fishy with all the latest revelations by Bisi Akande with Edmund Obilo on state affairs. Now, on Obasanjo's part in the allegation, his media aide, Kehinde Akinyemi, neither picked up the calls placed to him and his mobile phone the same day on Sunday, nor responded to a WhatsApp message. That means the death of Bola Ige is a no-go area. Baba Obasanjo, ṣàlàáfíà ni ṣe dáadáa lẹ́wà bàbá ẹ̀dẹ̀ kúṣẹ́ olúwa o ọ̀rẹ́ yín mínísítà yín Chief Bola Ige wọ́n lẹ́yìn lẹ pa o wọ́n nígbà tẹ́ wà lórí àléfà tẹ́ wà lórí ìjọba wọ́n ní ẹ̀yin lẹ pa Bola Ige wọ́n dẹ̀ ní Ladoja náà mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ wọ́n láwọn tó mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ bàbá Bisi Akande dẹ̀ ti sọ pé àwọn ò ní dárúkọ torí pé kí ni gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́rìí wọ́n ní gbogbo wọn ti kú. bàbá ẹ̀jẹ̀ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín gan-an tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ àti òdodo lẹ mọ̀ nípa ikú Chief Bola Ige ẹ̀san ake o ọlọ́run ẹ̀san àgbà ẹ̀san o wọ́n lẹ mọ̀ ń pa ikú Chief Bola Ige because ẹ̀yin náà mọ̀ pé tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá mú Chief Bola Ige kúrò lọ́nà as adarí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ìkan ṣoṣo aworis tó kù ẹ̀ ń láti mú òun náà lọ bí gbogbo yín tẹ́ jẹ́ ológun bẹ́ ṣe pa bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ẹ̀ tún pa Chief Bola Ige bàbá ẹ̀san ake o wọ́n ní media aid yín Kẹ́hìndé Akínyẹmí wọ́n ní yẹn náà tún gbé fóònù kẹṣẹ́ àti máa pààyàn ní Nàìjíríà. Nigeria is all about killing and killing and killing. Nigeria is already a killing field in the race for power. Yoruba on Yoruba killing one another. Yorubas on Yorubas killing one another, killing each other. Check it out in this banner now. I'm going to display that too. Check it out. I'm not lying. Watch it. Okay, guys. What are your thoughts on the issue? What do you think? Comment below. Just drop us your comment. And obviously on this note, I want to seize this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, all of you my avid viewers. I want to thank you. Thanks for watching this video. Yes, I'm going to be coming back to be producing fantastic videos like this, and then, you know, show you and then present it to you in a format that you guys can then interact with me through the commentary box and so on and so forth. So my beautiful people, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope to see you in our next video or live streaming. Like and subscribe to all our channels. No Media TV on Facebook, Hello Magazine on Facebook, or my personal page, Frank Bello on Facebook, and then No Media TV on YouTube as well. Guys, thanks for watching this program, and I hope to see you next time in the next video. Take good care of yourselves and have a great evening. God bless you all. Goodbye. Bye.
That's all for now. If you have enjoyed this video or any of our live streams, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we post a new video. New Media TV. Live stream with confidence. Beyond the headlines. News in its purest form. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.